So at Coldingham and it's windy, blowing a gale, 40 mph gusts, so I won't be going in the boat. Fish from the bank for a while, see what happens. Should be a laugh.
So guys, this was my recent trip down to Coldingham Loch, and was down for 2 days of boat fishing, but yeah, the Friday turned out to be extremely windy and there was no boat fishing allowed. You can bank fish this venue, but you need to wade really. There's not that many spots just to fish from the bank, and we didn't have waders, so we did try and go around the bank and fish, but yeah, just standing up was a bit of a challenge at points. The direction of the wind meant that it was quite tricky to seek any shelter, but we gave it a bash and it was quite a laugh, to be honest. So yeah, as you can see, beautiful little place. But yeah, it was a bit like the sea at times. You can see the waves rolling in, and it was quite funny how windy it was. Yeah, definitely a wise idea not to go out in the boat. This was actually not at its worst, and yeah, fun and games.
That's what I was thinking.
This was the point where I was actually struggling to stand up, so yeah, mental wins, and couldn't put a scunner on the first day fishing, but we knew we had Sunday to fish and the forecast was looking good, but yeah, this was a nightmare. We went down to the sea for a little trip and it kind of reminded me of the Friday on the loch. So anyway, there was one fish caught by me on the Friday. Found this little floating platform, was just casting out a sinking line with a booby, and there you go, hooked into a cracking perch, and yeah, I was quite happy that I hadn't went out and caught nothing, and yeah, beautiful little perch, made my day.
That's an absolute belter of a perch, by the way. Why would you guess? Look at that. That's a cracker. Beautiful.
So on to the Sunday, and as you can see, much better weather, out in the boat and could get on with some proper fishing. Really like this venue, cracking little place, the fish always fight really hard, and yeah, I was excited about getting out and giving it a go. So we headed up to Swingate Bay. The wind had been pushing up there the last couple of days, so it was an obvious place to start, and it was a little bit sheltered because it was still a bit windy. So yeah, that's where we went to start, and it didn't take long before we got into some fish. So we started off with the floating line and 2 flies. The spacings there you can see 7.5 foot and 8 foot, and actually all the fish I caught on this day was on this setup, so always on the floating line and using 2 flies at these spacings. So as I go through the video, I'll just update what flies I was using when I caught the fish. But yeah, this was the method that just worked all day. Onto the flies now, and I started off with a snatcher in a size 12 on the dropper and a blue flash damsel size 10 on the point. It didn't take long to get into the first fish of the day, always a nice feeling, and this fish gave me the runaround. I mean, it took us round to the other side of the boat. Wasn't that big a fish, but really nice fish, and testament to Coldingham. Really good quality fish, and they fight like Trojans. Obviously at this time of the year, water's getting cooler, they're getting more energy about them, but what a fight these fish had in them. We had a great day and great sport, and yeah, good to get the first fish to the net. That's ready.
Cheers, son.
My lines are tangled, that's what I was trying. I'll just let the fish try and go. It then didn't take long for Raymond to get his first fish, and that was us both off the mark. And yeah, cracking rainbow this one. Beautiful, as you can see. Didn't take long before another one followed, and it became clear the fish were hugging that bank side. There was lots of fish in there, and we focused our efforts on there for the next wee while. There it is. So the key thing here was casting it as close to the side as possible, letting it sink for about 10 seconds, and as you can see there, into another fish. And the retrieve was just a figure of 8. Now, I say just a figure of 8, medium paced generally, but I like to just keep mixing it up and essentially adding different pauses at different times. I don't stick to the same steady retrieve basically, and that was working well. So casting out, let everything sink for 5 to 10 seconds. I was using weighted flies on the point, so that was getting them down there. And then retrieving, so like retrieving steady figure of 8, 1, 2, 3, stop, wait for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop again for 1 second. And that's starting and stopping and just mixing up the times, but adding plenty of pauses in my retrieve, and that's what worked on the day. It's something that really does work well for me fishing in the margins, and on this day the fish were in there at the edge, and yeah, sticking to that, casting in there, mixing up the retrieve, it works wonders. He's not that big, he's just fully beat. Oh, yes. It's a nice fish, but it's they're just full of energy, yeah. That's right. With the cold water in there. Brilliant. It's a 7-weight rod, Ken, and it's putting a nice bend in that, like. Alright. Yes, he'd up, come on. I'm trying to bully him a bit, eh? But
you can't go any further.
I know.
He's got his bearings, I can't go his bearings.
Alright. Oh, this is some strength he's got. Hey, come on, this time. In you come. Heat up, baby. Cheers, son. It's not even that big, just fully beans. Aye. It's just, that's a good fight. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. that. Nice fish, son. Beauty. Job. Well done. Ran straight towards me there. First cast in that way. First cast in that way. Bye. Straight away. Absolutely straight away.
Where is it?
He jumped, which didn't help. He's still there. There he is. Nice wee fish. Nice one.
Let's see, he's got his energy now.
Oh. It's like a wee torpedo. I think he's on the dropper. Saying that, it was unbelievable. What a fight they give. Oh my god. This fish has had its rear mix, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, it's a nice fish. Let's not bully it too much. See, so we can have a look. Yeah, come on, son. There you go. Come on, come on. It's enough. Unbelievable, Jeff. Cheers, son. That's a nice enough wee rainbow, that. Hanging it there. I'm just hanging my fly. So as you can see here, we had moved out of the bay and down towards where the boats are launched, and this was pretty comical in the sense that
It's one of my damsels.
I was holding my rod, looking at my fly box with my flies just dangling in the water, basically, and this fish decided it wanted to take the damsel that was just sitting there static, so aye, quite funny. I'll take it, but yeah, a bonus fish.
Missed. Sorry. It's up here, it's not.
You alright with that? You want to give me the next?
It's alright.
We did fish for quite a while elsewhere, but it was clear that most of the fish were holding up in this bay, so we did return later, and yeah, straight away again into more fish.
That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish.
Right. That's a bigger sized fish.
Yeah?
Bigger sized fish.
It's really good about this fish. Rained that in the fucking sun.
So yeah, we did go on to catch many more fish, and yeah, it was a really enjoyable day. Really enjoyed it. It's good that the weather brightened up as well, made a real difference from the Friday where we just about got blown off our feet. But yeah, it was one of those days where we kind of worked out early doors where the fish were. They were high in the water, so they weren't really changing depth all day. So it was one of those days, it was quite easy to know where to fish. And what I like to do when it's a bit like that is just try out some flies. So it was clear some flies were working. Now, rather than just keep on the same fly all day and catch as many fish as you can, where's the enjoyment in that? I like to switch flies, and especially some of the flies that I've been tying myself. It's always good when you've got a day like this where the fishing's not difficult, is to try out flies to see what works and what the fish prefer. I mean, some days they'll take anything, but it was clear that there was a specific types of flies this day and colours, and I found the more natural colours worked really well. They weren't really interested in anything bright and leery. And yeah, it was just one of those days where it was good to have a play around and try different things. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.